Santa.
Victory or death, Ruktar Ogar! I choose death!
And we are live, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another classic hardcore Modcast stream with some of the mods in the community, myself, Nomnom, Kargoz, hopefully more mods in the future, and the rest of you guys, the rest of the hardcore community. It's great to have everybody here. We're going to cover some topics today. We're going to be talking about the FAQ that's still in the works. It's been a couple weeks. We've got GM ticket verification. I was gone all last week, and I jumped into Discord, and it seemed like that was one of the hottest topics this week. So we're gonna cover that, talk about it, and also we have the duo tournament coming up this Saturday, September 26th, and this rule may not be related necessarily to the duo tournament, but we're going to be talking about the duo leveling starting zones for regular duos, and we'll talk about like the rules or just some of the statements or things that we use as a guiding light for creating these rules. Anyways, I'll stop rambling, going on a rant. I just want to give. There's the introduction. Welcome to the stream, everybody. It's Scuffed.
Good to be here, brother. Good to be here. Welcome to Philadelphia, even though I don't live there. It's awesome that you're there, man. You said you're loving it so far.
Yeah. So I'm coming off. I've been gone the last 7 days. We've been moving from Texas to Philly. So I'm in Philadelphia. We got a new background. I got to put up the green screen. I still don't have my own place, man. One can only dream to have a gaming room set up like Kargoz right now. One of these days. But it's good, man. I'm in the loft. So our realtor was on crack, man. I don't know if it's a good or a bad thing. She told me it was 5'10". It's all a 6'2", so I can stand in the loft. We're good. We're good, but yeah. Nobody can hear.
That Santa thing behind you.
Honestly, it's just it's a random Christmas decoration, dude. So I've got the in-laws here.
Say Santa.
Santa. I didn't even think about it. Hang on, let me turn you up. I didn't even think about it. I got them pulled up all the way. Yeah, so I've got the in-laws here helping me move in. It's a whole mess. Honestly, I don't want to talk about it. I'd rather get into hardcore Modcast WoW talk.
Hell yeah. Let's go.
But yeah, Nomnom Kargoz, how was the week? I've been disconnected, so I was moving the entire week, but I jumped in the Discord and picked up these topics for the day. But how's everybody's hardcore runs been? Motivation? What happened this last week with you guys?
Yeah, everything's good, man. I'm almost 51 on the Warrior. Excited to, we're going to run all the one tonight. Me, Kargoz, Winky, and Kigo. So, yeah, that's about it, man. It's been a lot of RL stuff, you know, so I haven't been on as much, but yeah, excited. Excited for the Cup Saturday. Super excited.
Moving through the 40s as a pally is slow, man. It's slow. So I'm just chipping away at it, getting in the XP that I can. I've had some IRL stuff come up that's been kind of kicking my butt a little bit, but been hanging in there. I think, doing the dungeons tonight will be exciting. Plus we have the Cup coming up. I've been working hard on that, trying to line everything up for that. So I couldn't be more excited for the Cup, man. We'll probably maybe have 200 teams plus registered by the time we get there. Maybe half will show up, so we'll have 100 teams, which is way more than I thought we were going to have. So that's really exciting. And I really want to continue those druids too, man.
Yeah.
Thinking to myself, man, I can't wait for Grace to settle in so we can continue that duo run, because we were off to a good start there. I was having a lot of fun on the druid. So
that's true. Yeah. So we just started duo leveling, Kargoz and myself, and before I moved, that was the last thing I did. We 5-manned Ragefire Chasm. So last week we've been flirting with the idea of seasons in hardcore, just trying to spice things up a little bit. Maybe we can have seasons where we play the game mode a little bit differently. Maybe an achievement system, and good news, at least for Ragefire Chasm, we all started at level 12. I think we had one guy that started at level 13, but we wanted to get into the dungeons before the Meeting Stone level requirement, the minimum level requirement, and we had 4 level 12s, 1 level 13, and honestly, we got through pretty good. The pacing was solid, but also it was Kargoz and myself and 3 people in the community. We were all in comms. Everybody was on the same page. We had a couple spicy moments. We were chain pulling stuff, very little downtime, but it seemed to work in RFC. I don't know if I think it's going to scale differently the more dungeons we get to, but we definitely got some good feedback on whether or not going in the dungeons at the lower requirement than the minimum level, whether or not it would be viable or not. And it seemed to work out pretty good. It made the dungeon pretty difficult. What'd you think about it, Kargoz?
Yeah, I definitely thought, I actually felt pretty good. I definitely had that, the difficulty felt really good. So the main thing is that later, someone needs to be the guinea pig for the later dungeons. I don't know if you're going to be able to do Maradon below the Meeting Stone level. I mean, you probably could, man, if you really tried. You're so careful. I don't know. We'll have to see. But I'm down with these druids, man, to be the guinea pigs and to see what happens. To take the L, even if it means you don't get verified or whatever.
For sure.
But yeah, there was a lot of good death clips this week too. So Winky did F's in the chat podcast yesterday. Mm-hmm. Got a ton of good death clips, man. Week after week, we're getting people dying in the 50s, the 40s. You hate to love to see it, as I'm saying. We had this warrior died tragically at 53 in the Western Plaguelands. He had ice barb spear. We had, Kigo may have killed somebody by saving. He kited Teramis out of Stormwind. He hopped on his hunter, kited him out of Stormwind, and he evaded out. And he could have possibly respawned Teramis in Blastlands and one-shotted a gnome warlock there. It's possible. There's some good death clips.
So I heard about the warrior dying to Teramis. I didn't realize Kigo was on the other end of that, possibly.
Possibly, yeah.
That's insane. Yeah, the F's in Chat podcast has been good. That's great. Well, let's jump right into it, guys. I think the first topic of discussion today is going to be the FAQ. So we're still trying to get a frequently asked questions to find for everyone. Ideally, we'd have it done before the hardcore tournament, just because we might see the hardcore community double overnight with this tournament this Saturday, and so we definitely want to have everybody prepared. We want to look as good as we possibly can, show up in our best suit, basically, and we're hoping to get this FAQ completed by Friday night. And so if you guys really want to help out, I had one other person whenever we brought this up last week. He added about half the comments that I already had. And so if anybody has any questions that you normally have come up or you hear other people ask all the time, put them in there. Hopefully by tomorrow or Thursday, we'll have answers to all these, and then we'll go over rewording and have the final product out by Friday. But if you want to help out and add to this FAQ or go check out the Google Doc that's currently there, you can either DM me or put your responses in the feedback channel in the Discord. And so that's been a really good channel recently, and honestly, that's where I get some of the topics that we're going to be talking about today. So the feedback channel is where you need to go for the FAQs. But moving on, we have, I forget what this topic was going to be. Okay. We'll do this next. We'll go into, let's talk about the duo leveling starting zones. So we have the duo tournament on the 26th, and we have the rules here. And ideally, the duo tournament rules are a little bit different than regular duos, but in the tournament, you have to start in the same starting zone. It's a speed leveling competition, so it makes sense. I know that the XP is going to be combined by the end of the 8 hours, and that's how it will be calculated, but you do have to start in the same starting zones for this tournament. But what we're going to be talking about today, or right now, is the duo leveling starting zones just for duos in general, and what you guys think of this. Some people have flip-flopped. This has been a point of contention ever since the beginning, mainly for like druids. Night elves are the only alliance druid class, and Taurens are the only horde druid class. And there's not very many combinations you can do with druids, so there's a lot of people always wanting to play a druid with another class. And so I want to open up this section for the community. Kargoz, Nomnom, we would love your input. And so can we, I think the way it is now, the wording that we have is you can make those night elf human combinations work if you get them to the other starting zone at level 1. And what's the reasoning and the idea behind that?
I think Nomnom said it best one time. He was talking about something else unrelated, but he was saying sometimes you need like an imperfect solution to keep something airtight. And even we had Kevin Jordan on the other day. He was saying how, sometimes you just have to make unapologetic decisions sort of with stuff. And my thought on it would be, it would be nice if you'd be able to play, Druid and Paladin and like link up at level 8 or something as soon as you possibly could and play. But it just opens up a lot of possibilities. People could just be leveling solo for an indefinite amount of time. Then you have to create little sub rules saying, you can't get past a certain X level before you link up, and then having to watch the VOD. But I don't know. So we had a disagreement on this. So Jamin got pinged by someone yesterday, and they said, I want to play Paladin Druid. Now, can I go Paladin? He goes Druid, and then we'll just level, and as soon as we can, we'll link up and play together. And he brought it up in the mod chat. To him, I remember he was saying that he thinks it's still in the spirit of the game to be able to just link up at the earliest possibility and just naturally do so, kind of honor system, link up, play Druid Paladin. He thinks that was very much in line with the spirit of the game. For me, I was thinking to myself, the spirit of duo is, taking your first steps into the world together, and the starting zone is kind of like it's kind of a big deal, the starting zone, and earning every level together from level 1 up seems kind of in the spirit of duo more so than linking up at some arbitrary level, like meeting up at level 18 or something. One guy just leveled all the way through Darkshore, then he finally meets up with his paladin buddy. So that's my initial thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, the first kind of initial quote you said is, I do believe it. I think in this instance, we should make an exception. I think people, like me, I love my Dunmurrow classes. Like, if I wanted to play with somebody whose main was a druid, it just wouldn't be possible. The problem is it does create, now we have to create a subset of rules, right? Like, you can only get to level 10, you only can get to level 12, and I guess that's the problem just for verification and, all that stuff. That's why, same thing how we can't really do enchanting in hardcore unless it's in duos, because we, you don't have access to the rods. Sometimes you just have to tell somebody no, you know what I mean? Like, you could have 95% of the opportunities in hardcore, to do what you want, but, I would like to see if we can come up with a solution that's not complicated, that will allow, people of different reasons.
People have suggested a couple things. One would be you could get summoned, which then it's just kind of strange. You're getting 60s involved or higher levels involved, so it almost feels bad, but it would potentially work. There is also potentially a way to make it to the Night Elf lands from the human lands and vice versa, but it's not foolproof, and it comes down to basically swimming all the way to Westfall.
Right.
And then hoping that you don't pull like a coyote or a gnoll as you run into Elwyn Forest from the Westfall coast. And it's not a guarantee. The pull radius your aggro radius at level 1 is massive versus those mobs. So it can be done, but you can spend 20 minutes getting over there and then pull a coyote and die. But there is the possibility of getting over there at level 1. People have done it. So I would say if you can get over to the other zone at level 1, then it should be fine.
Yeah, I'm torn on this rule. I don't know if we should have a minimum level requirement before you guys link up. I really like the idea of if you're gonna dual level, you two are gonna be together from the start. And so I kind of like the arbitrary rule of getting to the starting zone at level 1. If you hit level 2, maybe your run's invalid. Maybe that's where we can draw the line in the sand, just to keep the rules simplified. But the complications you have with like a druid paladin, say if the druid goes to the starting zone, he's not going to be able to train his abilities until I think you can only train your druid abilities back in Moonglade, or you have to go to Darnassus. And so you've got a huge problem there. Same with the paladin. They can't train their paladin skills. And so what do you do at level 4, level 6, level 8? Do you guys split up, or do you run to each city at level 4, at level 6, and train your abilities? Do you just bite the bullet and not train until level 10 until you can get into Stormwind? Actually, I take that back. Druids have a druid trainer in Stormwind, but for the Horde it's more complicated. But the point is, if you use classes that don't start in the starting zones, the way Classic is set up, you don't have the class trainers in that area. So then it just gets weird. Do you Hearthstone at level 6 and train your level 6 abilities if you start in Mulgore and Durotar, and then make that level 1 run again at level 6 after you train your abilities? Like, what do you do? I'm not sure. So there's a lot of questions that we're trying to come up with whenever we come up with this ruling. And I saw something in Discord this morning. Somebody made a comment, and he said, it sucks that we have all these, it sucks that we have all these arbitrary rules because it deviates away from our goal of just playing the game. What's the point of hardcore whenever we're trying to make all these arbitrary rules, or people are stressed out, or is my run still valid and they don't get confirmation for a couple days on whether or not they should continue their run or not? And the guy was kind of upset because he was like, the reason we're playing hardcore is to be together. And that's the same thing with the level 60 verifications. It's like, why do we have so many rules whenever it's not even fun anymore?
He was talking about recording too, right? So like, here's my thing. If it wasn't for the recording and it wasn't for this, pseudo kind of infrastructure that we've created, you're just telling people to use their imagination at that point and use your imagination to have fun. So It removes kind of like that infrastructure of a competitive spirit or a competitive thing. And I don't think in practice we would have this community right now if it wasn't for the recording, if it wasn't for some sort of standards that you set. Because at that point, if you just say, it's the same thing with RPing. I would never just straight up RP, probably. I don't think I would just go and make a character and go to Goldshire and just start talking to somebody in Old English or whatever. But hardcore, I feel like I'm RPing a bit. And it kind of, the incentives are aligned. Like the incentive, it's kind of an RP challenge, and you get into that mindset inadvertently through the challenge. And I don't know, I see his point, because some people might get stressed out, but that might even be kind of like a good stress. It feels like you're part of something, and
sure.
If it's
it validates your existence and why you're doing this. You definitely need that for this community to be successful. And this is another thing is, I think we might have to draw the line in the sand and say, starting zone characters, because we can't guarantee everyone's going to follow the rules, or everyone's going to stay, attached to the hip the entire 1 to 60. And that's the point of dual leveling in hardcore is, and we really don't even encourage people to like do professions while the other person's offline. And you want, because like Kargoz made a point in the past, whenever one character gets ahead, then the challenge it feels like a solo self challenge, or you log on and your partner's already done a lot of work, and it just doesn't feel like you two have done it together. And so I think that we might need to draw the line in the sand and say, you got to start in the same starting zone. If you want to do Druid Paladin for your own leisure or pleasure, by all means, go for it. How important is the level 60 verification to you? Maybe that's a question the community needs to ask themselves, even myself included. In 5-10 years, are you going to go look at the Classic HC website and see your name up there with Bobby Joe? And does that validify your experience, or are you dual leveling because you found a fun way to play the game again? I'm not trying to take away from people's achievements, but why are you playing the game in the first place? Why are you a part of the community? Like, how important is the verification? And you got to see the mods or the rule maker's side is we have to keep it clean. You can't you can't muddy the waters. And so I'm starting to lean towards we just got to stick with the starting zone as is until somebody comes up with a better solution. And if you want to go Druid Paladin, go Druid Paladin. It's just not going to be verified. I don't know. That's kind of where I'm leaning, is how I see it right now.
Yeah, maybe we need to do a better job of saying, like, this stuff. But at the same time, you don't want everybody to just degenerate and do literally whatever and start using auction house, right? Some people might just go on like, oh, okay, I don't really care about being verified, so I'm just going to do my own version of the challenge where I'm using auction house, I'm trading, I am grouping with non-hardcore members. So you have to be really careful too. At the same time, I hear you though. You could just say if you don't care about being verified, then just go play however you want to play, right? But then you might have people in the guild who are grouped up with just normal characters or doing weird stuff. So it's really hard to. It's really hard to please everybody, pretty much, man. There's no real way to do it.
Right, it goes in line with people not recording or streaming, but they still want to play the hardcore challenge. Yeah, you really want to tell everybody, you want to stick by these rules, and Kargoz has said in the past, if you're not playing by the hardcore rules, either don't have your character with HC in his name or just try and preserve the integrity of the game mode, just for everybody else's sake. But yeah, we're kind of stuck in between a rock and a hard place on the duo leveling starting zones.
I like that there is a way to do it though. So there is a way to get to the Tauren zone from Durotar at level 1 and vice versa. And there is a way to get to the Night Elf zone and vice versa at level 1. It's not foolproof, but that opportunity is there. It's extremely painful, but if people want it, bad enough, and they do care about the verification, it kind of makes me feel a little bit better to say, hey, there is a way to do it. There's a video if you want to follow it. It's not foolproof, but Nomad did it on his Night Elf. I saw him die like five times trying to do it. But yeah, you can't do it.
He finally got there. I'm trying to catch up with some of these questions. Has anything stuck out to you, Nom? In the chat or just conversation?
Yeah, I've answered just a few just by typing. Yeah, it's a bunch of good points. Just as much as I would like people to be able to experience whatever combo they want, my answer always on stream too is once it becomes too difficult to validate, or if there's too many things, I just always default back to the status quo, because I think the hardcore rule set right now is great. So I think it's great that we talk about some things, but sometimes at the end of the day, just where everything is so successful and we have this Modcast and everybody's enjoying this game mode, sometimes the status quo just is good enough. So
yeah, I wonder, so let's move into this next topic. I don't have a title for it. I don't know, Scuff Stream. But anyways, somebody mentioned this in one of my YouTube comments. They said, it would be really great if we had guiding light questions whenever we're trying to come up with a rule or a ruling, or somebody sends in a DC death clip, or they're asking about a ruling, about a dungeon run specifically. My go-to is always you have one instance ID per character, and that's how we determine whatever situation is at hand. And so somebody said it would be a great idea if we had 4 or 5 of these guiding light questions. My big one, because I always get dungeon questions, my big one is, okay, you have one instance ID per character. Now let's assess the situation. Is there a guiding light whenever it comes to duo leveling starting zone or duo leveling rules? What's one statement that you can think of that you would refer to if somebody has a duo leveling question? Is it you should be tied to the hip at all times? That's the point of it, or
stay partied at all times, stay in the same zone at all times, and you can trade anything you want.
Yeah, that's exactly what Kargoz said. That's my general answer I give too. Just play together, stay together. You know what I mean? Ideally 1 to 60. Don't be online at different times. You gotta always be together. So.
Oh, I like that too. That's another thing. Yeah, people wonder if they can be online solo, but I guess that's implied by saying stay in the same party at all the times.
Right.
But yeah, so that's a great statement for duo leveling. My one instance ID per character. Kargoz, another one is fun to watch, fun to play. That's another fun to watch. That's another statement that we use whenever we're coming. Yeah, bio breaks together. Yeah. So if anybody has any additional comments, you can add this in the YouTube VOD or on stream right now. You can put it in the questions, and it'll come up on the stream, and we can add that in the future. Yeah, these are core values. That's what I should have put. So.
Sorry, I was just going to say another thing to throw out as a little zinger would be, at the end of the day, and this is how it is in real life too. Like, this is not even any different from real life. At the end of the day, every decision that you make, you have to think about how that decision would be interpreted by, a jury of your peers, or whatever the expression is. Like, even if you use lethal force, you do anything like there's, like, you have to see, like, sort of in a court of law, like, how would a jury of your peers view that decision, right? So, like, even any law in real life, at the end of the day, it ultimately comes down to that. You're in court, and people have to make a ruling, on. So I would say the same thing. Like, think about how the community would feel if something happened. So, I guess where I'm going with that is, when we were dual leveling the other day, right, Grace, we weren't in the same zone all the time. Just like one of us would fly on that, because it was my first time dual leveling, and so I was feeling it out for the first time. So, like, I would fly to Camp T early or something, and you would be in TB for a second, right. and it wasn't a malicious thing like, oh, I'm gonna get some advantage and go to TB and do a bunch of quests solo or something, but you just flew there early, and yeah, you're technically not in the same zone, but it's pretty clear that the intention isn't like that. You just AFK at the flight until your partner gets there, right, or something like that. So you can feel comfortable that that's cool, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, Kigo just he brought up a question, possibility of pardoning Terramis deaths. I think it just goes back to just our core, if it's a death that counts.
What did we say earlier? If it's not a DC death, it counts, basically. Yeah. Someone, I saw this in a comment in the Discord, was their W key got stuck whenever they got on an elevator, and they died. It's like, dude.
Yeah, I saw that. That was brutal.
You don't really have there's not much you can do about it, in life, right. Sometimes.
I kind of think it almost adds a little bit of flavor to the hardcore challenge too, where you have to be looking over your back for a dragon, looking over your shoulder. I mean, it sucks when somebody dies to it, right? But it just goes to show that you can die at any point, even in a capital city, and it kind of adds to the allure and danger of hardcore that, you always have to look out for even your fellow players on your faction. They could try to do something. Yeah,
no, I think it adds value to the community. And, I just thought about this, but whenever I get on an elevator, I actually RP walk. So whenever I was 50 plus on my druid, and I was really feeling the heat, I was like, man, if I'm ever on a Zeppelin, I'm ever on an elevator, I hit the RP walk button, and maybe the guy that got his W key stuck, if he was RP walking, he could have strafed in a circle long enough to get to the bottom. And so, the answer more often than not is probably going to be to adapt rather than change the rules or get confirmation, and just I hate to say it, but like, be better or come up with a solution on your own. It sounds bad, but I think the fact that we allow DC deaths is a huge plus, and that's a huge leniency whenever we're talking about other rules or just DC deaths. Those are possibly able to be verified, but you can't muddy the waters and say, well, Terramis deaths are allowed, or falling off an elevator because my W key got stuck. Then we can't. Then that tears down the integrity of the rules, the game mode. Everybody else is level 60s, and so we're trying to keep it as simple as possible. But maybe that goes inside of core values and how we come up with some of these rules. Somebody made a comment earlier. They were like, did you guys see it? They were like, well, your rules are BS. Like, the hardcore rules are bullshit. Everybody just comes up with your rules. And it's like, well, the whole game mode is BS then. I
don't know. Everything has been pretty well thought out. I don't know. I mean, some people you can't please everybody, but just show me another rule set that does it better, man. I don't know.
Yeah. So, anyways, just throwing that out there. Glad to hear some of y'all's feedback, and this is what we're looking at whenever we go forward. The last topic we have today, this is a big one, and this kind of goes with what we were talking about, the dual leveling starting zones. How important is the verification to you? How important is the validity of this game mode? And we need to talk about GM tickets. So this has been a hot topic this entire week. Idle Time just got this new GM ticket. I don't know if you guys can read it on stream, but I'll give you a tidbit. I'll say it. I'll read it out on stream just so we can all get in the right mindset. This guy he hit level 60 idle time. He got a response from the GM, and this is what he said: I totally get the reasoning behind your request there, but doing that is not an easy feat at all. However, we have provided you with an answer about this already over numerous tickets. And honestly, idle time, I'm trying to think. We have like what 20 people that are verified, and maybe on average 2 to 4 submissions each. Blizzard has probably gotten 80 tickets, 80 to 120 hardcore tickets concerning how many deaths does my character have / death command basically. And so you can hear the frustration in this GM's ticket response. It just is what it is. But however, we've provided you with an answer about this already over numerous tickets, that this information is not being tracked at all. There's a couple things we can unpack from there. If you'd like to see that information added in Classic WoW, you're more than welcome to submit a suggestion for it. I've seen this suggestion tab before. Maybe we need to utilize this more in the future. You need to understand that continuing to create tickets about this is taking away from people that actually require assistance. Shadowlands is a month away. If you create any further tickets, this is the zinger right here. And honestly, what should scare you and the entire hardcore community, just in terms of being on Blizzard's good side, if you create any further tickets with regards to how many times your character died, we may abandon them. Damn. Like, we may just basically disregard your entire hardcore community vilification. But there's a lot to unpack here. Does anybody have any thoughts? So some of the things I'm thinking about are, do we need GM ticket to be verified level 60? And should we send GM tickets related to number of deaths anymore? Let's try and unpack this. I don't know where to start.
So I hear them that Shadowlands is coming out, but at the same time, that's, you said 80 tickets over the course of like 3 months or something, or over the course of however many months it's been. I don't think it's, if this community were to scale upwards way past this, and there's a ton of people hitting 60, I could see a problem with maybe scaling eventually. But at this low level, that number doesn't seem egregious to me.
We're really not sending in that many tickets in terms of, it's a small indie company.
We're sending on
That's
average
the joke, right?
of one a day or one every other day tops. It's not much at all, right? So
I would also say maybe we respond back to the GM and say, look, with all due respect, GM, we love this game. We're here, paying support in the game. We have this community. We're trying to keep it alive. We're trying to do this, but it seems like you GMs are not on the same page, right? Some GMs feel like they can get this information. Maybe they're thinking outside of the box to obtain it. And some say that they don't have access to it. So we would appreciate if you could get the story consistent so we know where to stand. Because there's this rift where we think that you do have that information, but you're either, not motivated enough to get that information or don't know how to get that information. So get on the same page with the other GMs so we get the same consistent messaging back. And if it's really true that we can't get that information, then we can move on and course correct. But right now we're getting different communications.
Yeah, that's been the frustration with the hardcore community, is we've already had 15 plus people that hit level 60 get a GM ticket that is verified by a GM saying you've played X amount of time on this character and it seems as if you have 0 deaths. And that's typically the response we've gotten. And so somehow they are getting this information. Tactics made a comment, isn't it because you sent it at the wrong place? You only get the information if you submit via achievement. And so there's a couple different places where we can submit these GM tickets. I personally sent it in the achievement section. Nomnom's hit level 60 twice. I don't know if you have any input on that, Nom.
Yeah, I sent it to the achievement section. I didn't know what other section to send it to. So that's the one that I sent it to. Yeah, both of mine I got approved right away, but there wasn't many at the time, and maybe because there's a lot more requests there. I got my verification like both on the original. Like, I didn't have to send multiple requests, so. But I know Kigo went through achievement work for me, but it didn't count.
Jamin said, I got a ticket saying the info was very easy to get, but they couldn't give it to me because it's not something the player has access to, and GMs are now unable to give us this info. Right. Santa.
That's just kind of bizarre, right? What kind of malicious thing could you do with knowing how many times your own character died?
I think at the end of the day, for me, I'm going to send in one ticket, and I don't know. I'm probably not going to pester them. I have every second recorded. So, I don't know.
So, well, this is what we need to talk about. Do we need to stop sending in GM tickets as a whole? What do you guys think about it? Should you just send one GM ticket in? Because I don't know if this GM was having a bad day or not, but saying that you're just going to abandon these entire hardcore tickets as a whole, it's like, golly, you're just going to disregard this community that loves the game. Like you said, this isn't a malicious attempt at giving these guys more work. Like, we're playing the game in our own way.
I say we take our own advice and we come up with one templated response. It doesn't have to say what I just said, but like that, if it was my stab at it, I would say, we will stop bothering you if it's true. If it's truly that way, like if it is what it is, and you can't give that information out, you don't have access to it, whatever, like, we will stop bothering you. But we're getting conflicting reports, right? So, like,
Yeah, we may need to send that on the first one, just so we don't get one of these GMs. I don't even know how many GMs there are. Maybe there's only 10 Classic WoW GMs that that respond to these, or we put them in the achievement section, which there isn't one for Classic. So I'm assuming these are retail GMs that are communicating to us as well, and so they may it might be a bad taste in their mouth trying to respond to some Classic guy trying to get death information, which obviously isn't in the game, and so I could see them seeing that as a waste of time. But what do you guys think about needing the GM ticket to be verified level 60? That in our rule set right now, there's conflicting ideas on whether or not we need that ticket in order to get your name on the website. And I just want to preface this, we're working on the website. I'm hoping by the end of this week we'll get caught up. I know that we have like the Hall of Legends, the Discord is caught up on everybody that's hit level 60, but we don't have the website up. I think Brandong's trying to rework the formatting, and but we'll have that up to date. But do we need GM ticket to be verified level 60 right now? If you were to hit level 60 and you don't get the verification, do you still get your name on the website?
I think me and Kargoz may disagree on this. I think it's fine without the verification. I think it's nice to have both, but I don't like stuff that's out of my control. And if a GM or multiple GMs don't want to do it, like I did this great achievement over 200, 300 hours, that's all recorded. I don't want to stress over, someone having, a midlife crisis or, fucking problems at the house and taking it out on us, so.
Yeah, I'm on the same page. I think it's acceptable. We can do it without it, but I feel a little bit disappointed just because it adds so much in my mind. I do feel like it moves the needle substantially. If you are like someone who's not, who doesn't know anything about hardcore and you're learning about it for the first time, and you think, oh man, the GMs can really confirm it? Oh, that's so legit. Okay, I'm so down. Or, I just kept thinking of that screenshot and being able to get that proof from the GM, because you know the drill, right, Grace? When you get up there in levels, you kind of think like, yo, did I just sleepwalk over to my computer one night and die and not even notice it? Like,
yeah, did
I really not die after this many hours?
Right.
And just getting that confirmation feels so good. It adds so much legitimacy to the game mode.
It does.
And it's something that it would just be really disappointing. And I also don't think it makes financial sense to Blizzard for them to straight up just say, we're not going to support this at all, just because you're potentially adding a couple hundred players. I don't know exactly how much it would move. We're not a huge community by any means, but we have 7K people in the Discord, and there's probably a couple hundred more people who would play possibly if the game mode did have GM confirmation. So
I think there's a duality to it. So I think what you're saying makes sense for growing the community. I think people that are already bought into the community, I don't think that it matters. Although both things are important. But yeah, sure. I think having that stamp of approval brings people maybe that are a little hesitant of like how valid this format is. So it gives them the buy-in, for the community. But I think within the community, I think 100% of the recording, I think is fine. So.
I'll tell you, yeah. So we started the community not needing the GM verification ticket. We said if you record, 98, 99% of your run, and it gets verified over a couple days by the mods, you're going to be verified level 60. That's how we're going to do it. And then Nomnom sent in a GM ticket, and some GM, this is how this whole GM ticket verification came about. Sorry. Yeah, Nomnom started it all. But he actually got his characters verified by a game master, and so it validified the community a lot more. And so that's why we've kind of started to lean towards, man, you got to get that GM verification ticket just for your own sake. It's great promotion for growing the community, but at the end of the day, we don't require GM tickets in order to be a verified level 60. So that's the silver lining in the whole situation. It's a bummer to not have the GM tickets, but moving forward, what can we do? Since it sounds like in the near future the GM tickets aren't going to be a possibility, what's the next thing we need to do? I saw Jamin, he hit level 60 last week, and he made a forum post on the Wowhead forums. I don't remember what it was under. I wish that we would have pinged it or got a lot of our community to upvote it so that they would have seen it more. Maybe we need to make a few more of these. Maybe the status quo is going to be for the next couple level 60s. We have, kind of like a template to go by and make your own personalized forum post, and we'll have our entire community upvote it so that so that WoW sees it, and also maybe we do submit a suggestion in the Battle.net support article. Honestly, I think that's a far shot. I don't think they'll ever do it. But a /desk command in Classic WoW will get rid of the need for GM ticket verification. If we had /deaths, or we haven't had an achievement system to go, okay, you type in /played and it gives you your play time, and then at the end it says deaths 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. That would do wonders for our community if we could get a /deaths command in the game.
I'd like to think that there would be like a community manager that looks out for rising organic grass-fed or communities or whatever you want to call it, that were filled with passionate people who love the game and would try to help them out a bit. But, so hasn't happened so far.
It hasn't happened yet, but I think we need to take the stance of we need to take the initiative. I think we need to get a template possibly for GM ticket verifications moving forward. There's 3 things we can take from this. We need to come up with a template that people write in. We have conflicting answers from you guys. We don't know how you get the information, but we've had people get verification from previous GMs. That's why we're writing this ticket. So we need to get a template created. We need to possibly think about having level 60s write a forum post about how much they love the hardcore community and how much of a feat this was for them, and maybe we can ping each of those forum posts in the Discord, because I mean that's a valued that's a valued thing in the community. I don't think anybody would be upset about us trying to promote use our 7,000 people in the hardcore Discord to get like a /desk command. And also maybe we need to get everybody to submit a suggestion for it, and we can come up with a template doing that as well. So I think that the ball's in our court and how we go forward with this, getting this /desk command implemented into the game. I don't know if that's what we want, but right on September 22nd, 2020, that's kind of where my mind is at, and maybe.
Yeah, let's get. You're right, Grays, man. You're approaching this in a really good, logical way. Let's get a template. Are we on the same page of just saying, GMs, can you give us one final? I mean, maybe we don't have to be so ultimatumy about it, but they're giving us mixed information, and that's explaining why we're opening all these tickets, because some of them are giving us the answers, some aren't. So we're looking to get to the bottom of that. If they can give us the answer, if they can't, somehow in putting that all into a template, but in a respectful way that's not going to piss them off or something like that. Is there another way to do it? What do you yeah.
I think that's the best way.
Yeah.
I just don't think we're gonna get what we want.
Yeah.
But I think it's the best approach though. I think we have a template and see what happens.
Right. I'm really excited about this weekend in the duo tournament. And if any of you guys have just an ounce of motivation, and you want to help out with the FAQ, like I said, maybe we'll send this. This is all in the feedback channel. I'm addicted to the feedback channel in the Discord right now, just because that's where we're making moves in the community. I'm all about getting somewhere. That's part of the reason why I wanted to do a podcast like this, because I want us to get in, get out, and have steps, make steps moving forward at all times. And so if anybody has any template ideas, write it in the feedback channel. Help with the FAQ. We're also, I think we're going to be posting the FAQ, the updated FAQs, updated templates in the feedback channel. So again, this is very much, just as much your love child as it is mine. I don't know what the saying is, but if you guys want to help us out, be in the feedback channel, and we'll be communicating about where to go from here. So let's go into the last section of today's stream. It's pretty much just Q&A. Kargoz is going to be having Friday night a duo tournament Q&A discussion. So anything and everything under the sun, from recording, do I have to stream, do I have to record, with this duo tournament coming up, certain rules, can I start in different starting zones, and just all these questions. If you have any questions related to the tournament, or you just have any general Q&A questions, we'd love to answer it now for the next 10-15 minutes, and wrap things up here. I saw a couple during the stream. I didn't write them down, but
yeah, I just want to try to cover our bases as much as possible, so that day of, because it's going to be frantic, it's going to be hectic, and people are going to be scrambling. And I think a lot of people plan to stream day of, and I think it's going to be no problem. They're just able to fire up their stream, and then once it actually is day of, streaming isn't mean, it's not hard, but Nam, you started streaming recently. There's a lot of little weird stuff you have to do to stabilize your stream.
Of course.
So
Yeah.
just trying to have an open platform for anybody if they have any questions about streaming, recording, the rules or whatever, we can answer it that day. Just so if people say, look, they didn't communicate well enough, we can say, look, we did a whole Q&A session the day before to try and answer anything. So yeah, that's happening the night before. It'll be an hour long. We'll be in the Discord just answering any and all questions.
Yeah, Byuku Gaming, what if more and more people get to 60? Who's going to watch all that footage of gameplay? I'll tell you what, I would say in the last 2 weeks, how many mods did we add? I think we added 2 or 3 mods. Winky was one of them. And all the mods chip in on these new verification requests that we have. And we've been able to handle it so far. Now, if the community doubles or triples, that's where we'd like to have these alternative answers in order to verify level 60s. Now, I know that a /desk command doesn't verify level 60s because then you could get boosted or you could run multiple dungeons.
Right.
But if we had a /desk command, I'll tell you what, it would speed up the verification process slightly, just because you could. We watched the footage on like 4 or 6x speed, and we can knock out these verification processes between a couple people in 2 or 3 hours. If we've got 6 or 7 people on top of it. But you're right, if the community blows up more, we'll have to come up with new solutions, but at the moment we seem to be doing fine. It takes about 5 to 7 days to get these verification requests pushed through, but I don't know, we haven't run into the problem yet. It's something to look forward to in the future though.
Yeah.
True. Big true.
Yeah, I mean, we'll just have to see. I don't think, unfortunately, I don't think it's going to become a problem we're going to run into. It's hard to hit 60. So
Toe
I
jump,
think
yeah.
we're gonna get that overflow.
Toe Jumper said, had a quick question about the Alliance Guild maybe recombining because the chat in the Elite Guild gets a bit slow.
Yeah, I've had it come up actually a few times to me over the last few days. I guess you can go ahead with what you think your opinion is on it, Grace.
I like that we have 2 guilds split up, and hardcore, everybody's seen it ever since it's been created 9 months ago. It's got its highs and lows, and recently, I want to say 2 months ago, maybe a month ago, we started these 2 guilds split at level 24, because that was the average death is level 13. I'll tell you what, in answer to that, we need to moderate the guilds better. The guilds. Personally, I don't have a level 1 character in some of the guilds, and we need to have more mods with level 1s in these guilds between NA, EU, and Oceanic. I don't think Oceanic has the guild problem right now, but definitely NA is the biggest one. I'm not sure what the guild size is on EU, but we need to moderate the guilds better. So if we could kick out people that have been inactive for 7 days, that would probably allow us just to be 1 guild at the moment, but I think moving forward, we need to moderate better. I'll tell you what, we're coming up with a work desk. So, like in IT support, you have like a work desk, like a Google Doc is what we're going to use, just because we don't have any money or like infrastructure to come up with have our own like work desk ticket information. But we're going to have a work desk to where we have issues like this in queue. So that's coming in the future as well.
Hell yeah. I mean, the cup is going to happen on this Saturday, right? There's going to be a lot of new people in the community. So if you think it's slow right now, just stand fast. There's going to be people coming in real soon. Moving, we can adjust if it gets really, really dead, maybe down the line, but I don't see us, basically shrinking to the size where we can be fully housed on both factions on both sides.
Yeah.
In one guild.
One guild. So
Yeah, just separately. Yeah, I don't have a like an alt in the low level guild. I guess Kargoz just promote me or something. I have a lot of downtime sometimes. Like I can go through and clean out on the Alliance side, just that way.
I'll be honest, maybe because the average death. So somebody asked, what do you guys think of not letting people into the guild until level 10? Would remove tons of bloat, so many level 1s in both guilds that have logged on once. Honestly, because the average level death is level 13, we might get away with changing the level requirement from 1 to 10. I hate the idea of not inviting people, because if the average death is level 13 and you don't join a guild till level 10, some people may never see the guild, and they play a couple times, they get discouraged, it doesn't have that community feel. I really feel like you need to be invited to a guild from level 1, but we might. Man, it sucks, because once you establish some of these things, it's really difficult to change them. So maybe a 1 to 10 guild would actually be viable. and then a 10 to 60 guild would suffice. It doesn't really sound good in my head. I think
we're good
on paper, but
I don't know. I mean, like, if I could snap my fingers and change one thing selfishly, it would probably be closer to like level 15 or maybe level 20 for like the elite guild to form instead of 25 where it is right now. But it's not like busted broken 25 plus right now, and is, you know, once we get another influx on Saturday, it should be good.
Yeah, I think with them, because 24, you know, hitting level 25 to get to the next guild, 20 to 24 is a long haul. There's a lot of people that die in that 20 to 24 area. Once you hit 25, I mean, I remember my first couple characters, I started sweating once I got in the 20s, and it's like, all right, this is this is for real, and there's a lot of people that die in the 20s as well, so it does feel kind of bad having the first guild capped at 24, but again, it's difficult to just flip-flop and change these things. I think we need to stick around and see what happens after this duo tournament and adjust. And it's great that we have this weekly Modcast where we get to talk to everybody about the community and how it's changing.
Another thing to talk about on the Modcast real quick, Jamin got donated 2K from Drinky to make some PvP stuff happen. You might have missed that, Grace, because you've been away.
I did, yeah.
Yeah, so Drinky donate, like, Jamin was going to, you know, do a PvP tournament and just fund it himself.
Yeah.
And, you know, give him a few months out of game time. Drinky, of course, being Drinky, comes in, makes it rain, and then next day Jamin logs in again, makes it rain again, like $2,000 for a prize pool. So if you guys have any ideas on how we could do a hardcore PvP event, it's not something that initially comes to mind when I think of hardcore, right? But I mean, if you had to do it, what would the rule set be? What level? You know, I'm sure Jamin would appreciate that. He's running it. But I think he's structuring it right now as a level 10 thing, so people don't put too much time in on their characters. I think he said, like, everything goes, all professions, everything level 10. Fight to the death.
I would love to talk about it right now because I think the level 10 PvP tournament idea for hardcore is a great idea. I'm worried that people are going to come twinked out, and it's going to be fun for about 5% of the player base, and just really disappointing or annoying for the other 95% that didn't twink out their level 10 character. I don't know what we should do with the rule set. Did I see Jamin in the chat a second ago? I wish we could pull him in Discord right now. But yeah, we can at least shoot our ideas around. I think if we had a level 10 tournament, I'm trying to think of how it would be most successful, most fair, because Jamin, he wanted to start this tournament because he wants more people to be involved. So you got to realize, like, the gate to get in to be a part of this level 10 tournament. You don't want it to be a super high barrier entry in order to have a fighting chance at least. And so my ideas were, you got to moderate it because you don't want anybody buying AH items, especially if we have money on the line. You know, honestly, I think this is going to be another case of, if you want to have a shot at getting the money in this level 10 tournament, and getting to the end of it, say you get first to third, I don't know how he's going to pay it out, or the winner, you have to have your entire run recorded 1 to 10, just to make sure that you didn't get any AH items. So that's definitely something to think about. That just came to mind. I don't know if we should not allow engineering in general. That definitely takes away from some of the flavor of it. Maybe if we have enough time from the announcement to the level 10 tournament, maybe we do just let everybody go out balls to the wall and have 2 weeks to prepare.
Just because I think I know who's going to win if it's not for engineering. If it's pure just classes at 10, because we remember that demo, right? We did I think level 10 was the cap during the demo. Right, chat? Wasn't it 10 or was it 15?
No, it was 10 because I remember the class that won, and it was disgusting. And
it's level 10 for sure.
Yeah.
So Jamin said it's going to be a 3-hour preparation tournament, and then we duel at level 10. So you have 3 hours starting at level 1, and then you'll duel 3 hours later, max level 10. And I think you can moderate that before you pay out. You go, okay, starting zone, show your inventory, show you the amount of money that you have, and that way, that actually sounds really viable to moderate. That sounds great.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, there you go. Jamin the Shaman. So look out for that on the event board. We updated the event board recently. Also, I want to talk about the event board for a second. If anybody has any stream ideas, if you have any podcasts, I know really shooting one in the dark right there. But I know not everybody's doing podcasts, but you could do something as simple as a man versus stream. Winkypotamus, the guy that made the hardcore trailer that we use a lot, he does man versus stream on Friday night. So if anybody has any fun stream ideas, please send those to me. I'll put them on the event board, and that way people can look at them. Oh my goodness, hi Warlord Stino. We got tons of ballers in the chat. Wasn't prepared for this. Yeah, he just hosted us.
What's up, ballers?
What's up, ballers? What's up, Stino? Yo, man, we're just doing our weekly Modcast. This is episode 4, and we're talking about we're just talking about the state of hardcore and the improvements and changes that we're making on a week-to-week basis. And so, yeah, it's good to see y'all in here. But yeah, the event board. If anybody has any events, the idea behind the event board was just to have the community to have something to look forward to. There's kind of lulls in content. You know, maybe if some of the bigger people that stream hardcore aren't streaming every day of every week, it would be really nice to have this event board that people can go check into different things going on in the community, because there's a lot of things happening in the hardcore community. We just don't necessarily know about it. So I encourage people to send in event board suggestions, or if you're doing fun things, the level 10 tournament's definitely going to be on there. But yeah, so we're coming to the end of the stream. We'll do one last round of Q&A. But yeah, I just want to remind everybody, Kargoz, we have the tournament this Saturday. Kargoz is going to be doing a QA about duo tournament rules on Friday night, I think 9 p.m. Eastern. So that's in the event board as well.
Thanks for putting it in there. Yeah, that's awesome. That is great.
One other quick thing about this tournament, I get the question a lot. We are just doing it all on one server, right? We decided that. Even though there's going to be, that tons of people, like just everybody gets that same fresh experience. Okay.
That was a big decision, man. We thought about that a lot, and don't make that decision lightly. It's there's a lot of pros and a lot of cons to each. The more and more you think about it, you'll probably be able to think of some. But we put the information out already. I think that there's a lot of value in seeing the hype of people in the starting zones, everything feeling alive, the open world feeling alive, and probably the biggest factor that makes us want to do it on one server is being able to track players and update the leaderboard. It becomes a nightmare if everybody's on a bunch of different. It basically becomes impossible to even have a leaderboard if they're all on different realms, because we're going to set it up in a way where there's like a spreadsheet that's updated, and people are just going to be refreshing the guild to see what the highest levels in the guild are and updating them on the leaderboard through that. So yeah, one server.
Okay. Yeah, I mean that's what I thought. Just it's been asked multiple times. I just figured we'd get it out there right now.
For sure. Yes, Toe Jumper, the tourney participants will be in a guild of their own. It's not extremely a huge rush. You can just join whenever. And the way I think we're going to do it, Toe, is we're going to say, because some people might say that's going to distract me from leveling, having to message somebody for a guild invite. But if you want to be tracked on the leaderboard, we're going to just throw it out there. If you feel like being tracked on the leaderboard, getting exposure to your stream that way, getting the gamer clout of being on the leaderboard, you're going to message Navic or Egregious or Ale, and they'll invite you to the guild.
Okay, yeah, so I imagine we're going to have one more announcement tab Friday, the day before the tournament. You'll have that stream. And so definitely tune into that if you're planning on doing the participating in the duo level tournament.
Another thing I want to announce right now, too. I was going to announce it again later, but I already got the go-ahead from him. You guys may know Nick Necrostain. He has made some of the best hardcore videos I've ever seen so far. He made one about Perfections, and he made one promoting the general game mode. If you haven't seen those videos, they're really worth a watch, 100%. He put a lot of effort into them. They're pretty mind-blowing quality. I don't know if we could link them in the chat. I can try to find them.
I'm looking for him right now.
He loves hardcore. He's passionate about hardcore, and he's been playing it, and he said such nice things about it, and he wants to sponsor a hype trailer contest. So it's going to be $600 total. But he wants to split it up so that non-content creators can also stand a shot, because he thinks that non-content creators may not even try to participate if they feel like Platinum WoW or someone's going to be trying to do it. So this is what he was thinking: $250 for first place, $100 for a runner-up, $100 for the best non-content creator, as well as 5 random raffle prizes for $30. So he's really trying to spread the love out to a lot of people in the community. and that's such a good look, man. I really appreciate Nick Stain for doing that. We got to, let me try to find his videos so we can put him in the.
Yeah, I put his video, the profession video, in there at least. Let me see. I'll put his other channel. So he's got 2 videos: a guide to starting hardcore and a profession video.
Hey guys and gals, and welcome to a guide
Throw him
to
some
hardcore.
support, man. Just for no reason. No one asked him to do this. He just loves hardcore. He loves the community, and it's really like reinvigorated him to play the game to the point that he wants to support the community in some way. So I think that's going to be great. The idea that we're going to have not just 1, not just 2, but maybe a dozen, maybe 24 hype trailers that everybody could watch and laugh about and share and all this. And it just, watching a hype trailer gets you hype.
Yeah.
Help market the whole game mode and everything like that. So I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Yeah, we're wrapping up. Any last thoughts? Kargoz Nom?
No, that's it for me.
Yeah, let's not die tonight, Kargoz.
Oh yeah, y'all got the Ultimate run tonight. Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, hype for the tournament this weekend. So yeah.
for sure.
Thanks for inviting me on here again, Grays. I appreciate it, man.
Always. Yeah. This is our 4th episode. We're planning on having more mods in the future. We've got the structure of how this podcast goes. We've got it down, and so I'm excited to bring on future mods and future streamers, future people in the community. If you've got like a topic that you really want to talk about during the week, we would love to diversify and have some more different content like that in the realm of this podcast. But anyways, yeah, thanks for being here, guys. We're gonna wrap it up here. Yeah, as you can see, my scuffed ass stream. I'm gonna be sending y'all over to another member of the hardcore community, Happy Junkie. She streams and plays hardcore all the time. Go show her some love. Go give her some you love to see it, some blessed runs, and go. I think that she's playing in the dual hardcore tournament. So yeah, go show her some love, guys. Thanks for being here, and we'll see you guys this weekend, Friday, on Kargoz's Q&A, Saturday for the tournament, and we'll see y'all next Tuesday for the next podcast.
Good to have you back, Rays, man. You're sorely missed.
Yeah, bro.
Absolutely, man. It's good. Yeah, we'll be streaming again later this week. Maybe we'll get some duos in tomorrow, Kargoz. I don't know. We'll see. What the plan
Let's
is.
do it. I'm down.
Hell yeah. All right, we'll see y'all guys.
All right. Thanks again. Bye, guys.
Sounds good, fellas. Take care.
All right. Peace.